There's a kind of strength the world doesn't recognize anymore. It's not loud, it doesn't rush, it doesn't argue or prove itself. And yet, it's the very strength Jesus lived from and quietly taught to those closest to him. A power so subtle that it often looks like weakness to the untrained eye, but once you see it, you realize it's unshakable. Jesus didn't move through the world frantic or reactive. He wasn't pulled by every emotion, every insult, every fear, every crisis. Even when surrounded by chaos, accusation, danger, and suffering, there was something deeply steady about him, a calm authority, a centered presence, not passive, not detached, but anchored. And this calm wasn't accidental. It wasn't personality, it was mastery. One of the most overlooked aspects of Jesus' teachings is that he wasn't only teaching people what to believe, he was teaching them how to be, how to remain inwardly ordered in a disordered world, how to govern the inner life so the outer world didn't control you. In modern terms, we might call this emotional regulation or nervous system mastery. But long before psychology named it, Jesus lived it. And he expected his disciples to learn it too. When the storms came, he slept. When crowds panicked, he spoke calmly. When questioned aggressively, he answered slowly or not at all. When betrayed, he didn't collapse into hatred. When facing death, he didn't abandon peace. This wasn't spiritual bypassing. This was strength under control. There's a reason Jesus repeatedly said things like, "Do not fear, be still, peace I leave with you, and the kingdom of God is within you." These weren't poetic sayings meant to comfort people temporarily. They were instructions for inner alignment. Because when your inner world is chaotic, you are easy to control. Fear makes you reactive. Anxiety clouds discernment. Anger narrows perception. Desire pulls you out of yourself. But calm returns you to center. Calm allows you to see clearly. Calm restores your authority over your own spirit. And that's the power Jesus was pointing to. Temperance, which is often misunderstood as restraint or denial, was never about suppressing emotion. It was about integration, balance, right relationship between impulse and awareness. Jesus wasn't asking people to become numb. He was teaching them how not to be ruled by what they feel in the moment. Think about how many of the conflicts in your life are fueled by reaction rather than truth. How many regrets come from moments where emotion ran the show? How often fear disguised itself as urgency? Jesus knew this about the human condition. That's why he didn't teach his followers to escape the world, but to remain inwardly untouched by its turbulence. Be in the world, but not of it. That's not withdrawal. That's sovereignty. Calm is not indifference. Calm is command. When Jesus stood before those accusing him, he didn't scramble to defend himself. When mocked, he didn't retaliate. When misunderstood, he didn't panic. He responded from a place deeper than emotion, a place of inner alignment. That alignment is what gives calm its power. Most people think strength looks like control over others. Jesus taught that true strength is control over self. Not domination, not force, but mastery. And here's the part that's rarely talked about. This calm wasn't only spiritual, it was physiological. When Jesus calmed his mind and spirit, his body followed. His nervous system wasn't hijacked by fear. His breath wasn't shallow. His reactions weren't impulsive. That's why calm carries authority. Your body knows when you are grounded. Others feel it too. When you walk into a room calm, you change the atmosphere. When you respond slowly instead of reacting, you shift the power dynamic. When you refuse to be emotionally pulled into chaos, you become untouchable in ways people can't explain. This is why Jesus warned about being provoked, why he taught turning the other cheek. Not because suffering is holy, but because reactivity binds you to the very energy you're trying to escape. Calm breaks that chain. In the early Christian mystical tradition, this state was sometimes referred to as inner stillness or watchfulness, a condition where the soul observes without being consumed, where the self remains anchored even as emotions rise and fall. Jesus didn't suppress emotion. He wept, he grieved, he felt compassion deeply, but he didn't let emotion drive his actions blindly. He allowed feeling without surrendering authority. And that's the difference. So many people today think they are spiritual because they feel deeply. But depth of feeling without mastery leads to exhaustion, confusion, and burnout. Jesus didn't glorify emotional overwhelm. He taught clarity. Calm is clarity. This is why peace isn't the absence of difficulty, it's the presence of alignment. You can be calm in the middle of uncertainty when your center is intact. And here's where this becomes practical for you. If your life feels loud right now, if your thoughts race, if anxiety feels constant, if your emotions feel like they're driving your decisions, it's not because you're failing spiritually, it's because you haven't been taught this part. The forgotten teaching. That calm is not something you wait for circumstances to give you. It's something you cultivate internally. It's trained, practiced, remembered. Jesus withdrew often, not to escape people, but to restore inner order. He stepped away from noise to reconnect with source. He didn't let the world set his internal rhythm, and neither are you meant to. When you slow your breath, when you pause before reacting, when you choose stillness over impulse, you are doing something profoundly spiritual. You are reclaiming your authority. Calm doesn't mean you don't act. It means you act from alignment, not fear. Some of the most decisive moments in Jesus' life were carried out calmly, purposefully, without rush. That's the paradox. Calm doesn't delay destiny, it sharpens it. The world tells you urgency equals importance. Jesus showed that urgency often comes from fear. When something is truly aligned, it doesn't need panic to propel it forward. Calm allows you to hear guidance. Noise drowns it out. That's why discernment is impossible when your nervous system is overloaded. When you're anxious, everything feels urgent. When you're calm, what matters becomes obvious. This is the power Jesus wanted his followers to access. Not external miracles alone, but inner authority. And this teaching matters now more than ever, because we live in a world designed to fragment attention, provoke emotion, and keep people reactive. Outrage, fear, comparison, urgency, all of it pulls you away from center. Calm is rebellion. Calm says, I will not be ruled by fear. Calm says, I will not let chaos dictate my identity. Calm says, I know where my authority comes from. Jesus didn't shout truth, he embodied it. And when you practice calm, you're not becoming passive. You're becoming precise. You start to notice when something is trying to pull you off center. You recognize emotional manipulation more easily. You stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. You stop chasing validation. You stop giving energy to what doesn't deserve it. That's temperance, not restraint, but refinement. It's choosing what you give your spirit to. And this is why calm is power. Because nothing external can force it. It comes from alignment with something deeper than circumstance. Jesus trusted that alignment. That's why he wasn't shaken, and you don't have to be either. This teaching isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming rooted, feeling without drowning, acting without panic, loving without losing yourself. If you take nothing else from this, remember this. When your inner world is ordered, your outer world loses its grip. Calm restores choice. Before I close, I want to leave you with something practical you can carry into your day. When you feel yourself being pulled into anxiety, reaction, or emotional overwhelm, don't fight it. Pause. Breathe slowly. Let your body catch up to your spirit. Remind yourself that clarity lives beneath the noise. Jesus didn't hurry truth. Neither should you. For today's message, a supportive frequency to sit with is one associated with balance and emotional regulation, often connected to steady heart rhythms and calm brainwave states. You might notice this kind of frequency used in meditative music that feels grounding rather than stimulating. It's not about forcing calm, but allowing it to emerge naturally. And as we close, if this message resonated with you, if it brought clarity or peace, I invite you to stay connected here. Like the video, subscribe if you feel called, and let this space be one where truth is quiet, strength is steady, and calm is reclaimed as the power it truly is. You don't need to become someone else to access this. You're simply remembering what was always available to you. Calm isn't weakness. Calm is mastery.